Let's take a moment now to talk about something involving mental health that happened last weekend on the Marquam Bridge and took 10 hours to resolve. Something that tied up traffic for thousands, if not tens of thousands of drivers. And once again, in my opinion, exposed the awful state that we're in when it comes to mental illness and the ability to step in when someone is dangerous to themselves or others. All right, first, the facts. According to Portland police, on Saturday, January 6th, around 2 p.m., a man was spotted walking up the southbound ramp of I-405 to northbound I-5. It's kind of confusing to visualize, so I've circled the spot there and put an X near where the man was found. Police say he had climbed over a chain-link fence onto the outside and was in danger of jumping down onto Southwest Moody Avenue, roughly 130 feet below. This is a photo Portland police released from the incident. Police say they could tell the man was having a mental health crisis, so they called in their enhanced crisis intervention team. Portland Fire and Rescue and the ambulance company AMR also responded to help out. Now, because of the location, police stopped traffic in several places, some for as long as 10 hours. That involved the Oregon Department of Transportation and OHSU Police Department, so a lot of folks involved. Then police brought in their top negotiators to try and convince the man to come in off the outside of the fence. But after 8 hours and 3 negotiators, they decided the best course of action was to monitor the man from a distance. So they all backed off. And after 2 hours, the man walked off the bridge. Police told me this afternoon they had identified the man during those 10 hours. And as time went on, they started to believe he was no longer in a mental health crisis. Finally, they said one of the man's biggest fears was that police would swoop in and arrest him as soon as he left the bridge and cause him pain. So they promised him they would not do that. And they wanted to keep that promise, so he was allowed to walk away. Police told me they are following up with service providers, and they do hope the man gets the help that he needs, and that since he had not committed any crimes, he was indeed to go free. So those are the facts. Now, my opinion. Are you kidding me? What does it take to get someone help in this city? You'll hear that the bar for detaining someone against their will is pretty high, and it is. But come on, in my opinion, this guy high jumped over that bar with no problem. The standard for taking someone into custody is this: are they a danger to themselves or to others? So let's think about that. Let's walk this through. Is a man who walks up the Marquam Bridge, a place with no sidewalk and cars and trucks flying by at 60 miles an hour or more, is he a danger to himself or others? Well, of course he is. Both to himself and to all those drivers. And what about hanging onto the outside of a cyclone fence for hours threatening to jump? Does that make him a threat to himself or others? Absolutely. So why in the world would he be allowed to walk off the bridge and disappear at the end of it all? I don't mean to criticize the work of Portland police negotiators. After all, their job is to keep the guy alive if possible, and they did that. Well done. But why was he not taken into custody or for treatment after he got off the bridge? And what if he'd walked back up onto the bridge? I understand a lot of people in this town think the rights of individuals are so important that the rights of the general public can be put on hold. In this case, I got to disagree. That person's actions show that he was in crisis and in need of professional help. I'm worried that we as a community have fostered such a hands-off attitude that we're afraid to do anything. And in keeping our collective hands off this individual, I think we allowed him to continue to put himself and others in risk. I'm very thankful that he did not jump or fall off the bridge and that nothing else has happened with this person as far as we know. And like you, I hope that he does get the help that he needs. But in my opinion, this is a glaring example of the dysfunction within our system, and it's certainly not helping the individual. Caring sometimes means taking action. And in my opinion, that should have happened in this case. That is my opinion. What's yours? Were you caught up in the traffic jam over the weekend? Are you concerned like me that the community is too hands off and he was just let go free? If you want to disagree, that's fine. Please do communicate with us. We're one of the only shows, probably the only show in the nation that I know on TV, local TV, where you can give feedback, and we use your feedback to generate more conversations and deep thought and to keep the conversation going. So email us, thestory@kgw.com. Call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090. We'd love to know what you think about that, and I look forward to hearing from you. By the way, if you or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts or is in mental health related stress, there are people who will help. There's a phone number that you can call or text, and it's all free. The number is 988. Write that down, 988.